I had to do that before coming on set. Hard conversations. Some of the toughest things you can ever think about. We'll bring it up on the bumper breakfasts and we smash it. Living with a wife, a woman who can't cook, is our topic for this morning. And I dare add a caveat, and is unwilling to learn. How would you cook? I would like to hear from you. Send text messages to me only. Text, SMS, and WhatsApp only. No calls. On 08064738133. Now, I'm not going to put that number on the screen intentionally because once it gets there, people start calling it. But the number is 08064738133. I'll give it 2 more times in between the hard conversations so you can tell us exactly what you think. Now, living with a woman, the space between the A and the woman, who can't cook? Dr. Precious.
It's an interesting...
Didn't you first of all laugh when you saw that message?
I laughed because I'm familiar with it, and I think we've been dealing with it in recent times on a low key. What I try to do with Silence of Wisdom is I try to use my everyday experience, extracting wisdom from them and giving out something back to the public. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is very timely. Very, very timely.
Do they exist?
It's everywhere.
Are you kidding?
It's everywhere.
As in, they do exist?
They do exist.
Okay.
You have
so I'm not off
scenarios-
point, definitely.
No, you're on track. You're on track. You have... it's just that the probability differs. There are so many women who don't know how to cook, but there are not so many who are not willing to learn. They may be proud about conceding because of pride, but not very many are not. Some of them will tell you, I can do this, but they go behind the guy to learn how to do it on YouTube. And that's one aspect I'm going to be talking about today. You can actually learn anything online.
Online. But you know, when they say there are women who can cook, I don't expect any woman in the 21st century not to know how to cook. I mean, you know, I have a friend who doesn't like to cook, but doesn't mean she doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't like it. She doesn't. She really doesn't like it. She doesn't like the kitchen. She doesn't like it at all. But she knows how to use the kitchen.
You know, Tommy Singh, I took this to the streets, had a debate, and a father, Mr. Tunde Abiodun, said something to me yesterday. He stressed the importance of a man looking beyond food. Okay? Now, he said something very interesting.
Looking beyond food, which means you can marry a woman who can
especially if you are sure that this woman has got qualities and she's ready to learn. Take note. He said, but when the woman becomes proud and says, I don't want anybody to teach me and I don't want to learn
just
this.
Get a cook. She just wants you to put a cook in there. Just get a cook, a chef for the house, and you guys are good to go.
Can I tell you what causes the story behind you hear about men who are sleeping with the house helps? You know why?
She cooks good food.
Okay, let me give you an instance. When you feed a dog regularly, even if I'm the owner of the dog, but you feed the dog regularly, if I'm going this way and you are going this way, the dog will go with you, not with me. You know why?
Did you just liken a man to a dog? Okay, you're in that category.
No, I'm giving you an example. Now let me come back to an Igbo adage that says, if you pull a rope, you will pull a bush. What does that say in English? It's important you understand this. When you have a middle person serving your husband, in no time, if you're not careful, you see, nature abhors vacuum. There is exchange of pleasantries. Wow, this food is sweet. And the mind of the man keeps building. What else is sweet about this? Are you with me? And before you know what's happening, things begin to happen. Then she's not only taking care of her guy's stomach, she's taking care of her guy's body. Because the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Now I ask a question. If the way to a man's heart is the stomach and that way is blocked, then what can a man do? When there's traffic and the road is blocked, you look for an alternative route. Am I correct?
I don't like the direction of this conversation. Because
I need to put you on the spot.
No, because
Do you
you
know
just
how to cook?
basically.
Because
Do I
if you
know how to
know, I know
cook?
you've cooked. Come on, I know. But
Do I know how to cook?
if you know how, you would understand where I'm coming from.
Okay, I really do not know. I can't say that I really know how to cook otherwise. But
No,
the
but
truth
you
is,
do. You do.
I love the kitchen. I just love kitchen. It's one of my distressors. Once I'm stressed, I go into a kitchen and I find solace there. It's either I'm sleeping, reading, or cooking.
Cooking, okay.
That's for me one of the ways where I can distress. I like my director to take that number off the screen because people then start calling it. Just send an SMS to the numbers on the screen that you saw briefly, but we won't put it there again. Only SMS to the number on the screen 08064 738133. Now, what do you think is responsible for a woman not knowing how to cook? Is it normal? How do you raise a girl who doesn't know how to cook? Even if you live with your aunt, you're going to know. Even if you
Or
don't
your
have a mother,
parents had all the cooks in the world.
even if your parents are separated, you will know how to cook. So I don't see the situation ever that would ever produce a girl child that cannot cook.
It's possible when you're raised in a home where you literally have a maid for everything. You have a maid that puts your shoe for you. You have a maid that cooks for you. You have a maid that does everything. In that circumstance, there are probabilities that will happen. But let me pay your indulgence. You remember the controversy around Pastor Adeboye some time ago when he said, do not marry a girl who cannot cook because she would not be a good wife. Now, one of the points he cited in that statement was laziness. He said one of the virtues, one of the products of laziness is inability to cook. So you find she's unable to cook, she can't cook. How can she clean if she can't cook? And you see, cooking is...
Can't you clean if you can cook?
Clean properly, tend the house properly. When I mean clean, I don't mean just clean the table. I mean maintain a home. There's
without
so
learning
much
how
more.
to cook.
There's so much more to that.
You could. Because you have men, let's be sincere, you have men who are really meticulous with their things, their cleanliness advocates. They're always all over the place, making sure that everything is speak clean. They make sure nothing is out of place, but they are useless in the kitchen.
Now, for me, I can cook anything, just anything.
We're not talking about people like you put food on social media.
Now, let me say this.
People like you put food on social media, you know.
Because I can cook. Now, let me tell you this. At some point in my life, I stayed with my grandma and saw her cooking, and I learned her uni days. I learned her style of cooking to the extent that when I go back home and try to cook in my family house, my dad looks at the food and he's like, this guy learned something new. So it's not the normal city style. I can still bring in some other. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is you can learn from anywhere. You can learn from anything. You can learn from anybody. Now, listen to this. I'm not talking about a girl who cannot cook as a result of disability. There are some ladies who can't cook because they have a challenge. You don't expect her to go to the kitchen because she's disabled. I'm talking of a full-grown woman who doesn't know how to cook and is not willing. Able-bodied. And is not willing to learn. You see, that inability or that lack of willingness to learn, I call that the height of insensitivity. Because eventually, if you're not careful, the man will get tired of you. You become like a burden over time. Just imagine a young man gets married to a woman and every day they go bucatieri. They go eat out. They go take junks. And then all of a sudden the man meets a friend. This is a personal experience. He meets a friend who knows how to cook. And they're in the same profession. So when they're coming back from the office, the lady's like, come and eat something. Instead of the fast food you just bought. And then he eats the food the first time. He eats the food again the second week. And then he wants to always pass by to have food.
Have a meal.
And from having food, he gets the food on the bed. And before you know what's happening, there's a crack on the wall. So the willingness to learn how to cook is very important. we're not going to castigate you for not knowing how to cook, but you should be able to say, come, I'm ready to
So you're
learn.
saying, you're affirming that it is simply impossible for you to survive in a relationship, marital relationship, premarital relationship, without the ability to cook.
Tommy, that is the truth.
The relationship will not survive.
For a man, there are two things that are of utmost priority, but I'll just tell you three of them. Number one is food. Number two is sex. And number three is respect. You see, these three things, they come together. If these three things are on track, I'm telling you, you will always make your man happy. You will always make your husband happy. But to make a woman happy is very easy. Somebody said, number one, give her money. Number two, give her more money. Number three, give her much more money. And she'll be happy. But you see, on the side of the man...
I absolutely disagree, because number one, give her money could make her temporarily happy. Give her much more money. If she needs a phone call and you give her money, trust me, she's going to throw your money in your face. Number three, give her much more money, then you are definitely going to be in trouble, because if she wants to have an outing with you and you always send her money, she's definitely looking for another person like ASAP. Women need the tiniest, lidless things of life. Some measure of respect.
You're talking about yourself now.
Because I'm a woman. Some measure of respect, attention. No matter how busy the woman is, attention. She wants a phone call. She wants to be told, hello there, how has your day been? She wants to be told, oh, how are you doing? She wants to be told, you look beautiful. Compliments. So imagine that you just go pram, she just keeps getting alert. And you're upset. See, as far as she's concerned,
don't allow the women of this generation to come after you.
But it's true.
It differs.
Money irrespective. That's why you always find out that, despite the fact that it gives you everything you need, buys you a new car, gives you a house, gives you money for your business, you still feel that something is missing in the relationship. But even you as a person, because your priority has always been on the finances, may not be able to identify what the problem is. The problem is that there is no connection, because the person doesn't look after you. Your friend, why do you call your friend your friend? Because you're able to connect with the person. You're able to say, hello, what's up? You're able to gist. You're able to talk, even if it is once in a year. Each time you see, you bond, you connect, because that connection is there. But when that is missing and you want to fix it with money, that relationship is dead on arrival. It's DOA.
Let me tell you something, Tommy. We're talking about food here. And
now, let's go back to food.
And you need to understand this.
So
when you're talking about,
I also think we should change this topic to living with a person that can cook. Because what if you have a husband that can cook?
Now wait until you hear what Tony Harrison says, a spare parts dealer in Lagos. He told me something. He said, who is ready to marry a woman who cannot cook? For me, I am not ready. And he noted his appetite is far more important than anything in the house, because you need food to have sex. You need food to communicate.
Okay.
You need food to run the home, and you need food to work.
Wow.
So food plays a very important role. Now we're talking about the foundational needs. We're not just talking about what it takes to run the home and maintain the happiness of the home, but the foundation. And you see, one of the things, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you freshen up. The next thing is breakfast. Now let me ask you something.
For most people.
For most people, but let me ask you something. You see, for most people, they want to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If this woman does not know how to cook, and she serves you breakfast, lunch, and dinner 365 times every year, or 365 multiplied by 3, because 365 days in a year.
Yes.
So imagine that amount of times you have to eat bad food. So maybe in the morning, the food is tasteless. You move it to the side of your tongue that is soured to blend. And then in the afternoon is salty. You move it to the other side that is salted. And then in the evening, it's inexplainable with pepper. and you cannot understand what you're eating, Tomisi, I'm telling you, there'll be friction in that relationship.
As a matter of fact, there won't be friction, there will be trouble.
And that's why I'm saying, and that's why this is very important. I've put out 4 things, or maybe 5 things every man in this kind of situation should do. You know, we don't come up on hard conversations to give problems without solutions.
Now let's just solution number 1.
Solution number 1, politely and romantically drag her to the kitchen. Politely and romantically drag her to the kitchen. And when you're taking her to the kitchen, have your plan. Drag her to the kitchen. So you're taking her there because you're good at it. Do not invite your parent to come and train her. You mess up the whole thing. Mommy, my wife doesn't know how to cook. Come and teach her how to cook.
Can she come spend some weekends with you so that you can teach her? You've exposed your relationship to some interference.
The mother? The mother can come and just cook.
No, I know somebody who sends his wife to his mother every weekend for such thing. You didn't even ask me how I came up with this topic. I used to have a family member. While I was growing up, I had a family member who was sent back from her husband's house because she couldn't cook or clean. So while they were raising us girls, they always refer to our aunt who was sent back. So when you refuse to go to the kitchen to do what mom wants you to do, mom now tells you, do you want to be like auntie? Do you know? So everybody, you know, when they say you become a bylaw in your house, you know. So for me, I grew up in an environment where at 10, you enter the kitchen. At 10, you get 1 week to cook each in my house. Once you're 10 years old, you enter the kitchen. You just start learning to cook. You cook for the whole family. You cook before you go to school in the morning. You come back at 6 p.m. you come to do dinner. You know, that's the way it is. And during the weekends, you do your 3 square meal complete. The only thing my mother does for you is the soup and the stew. Now, by the time you're 12, you start doing the soup and the stew. By the time you're 14, you start doing the soup and the stew and the food and the pounded yam.
Now I see why you're very good in cooking.
So you see, the entire thing starts from, why did she come up with that idea? Because I had an aunt who was sent back home because she couldn't cook.
But we have that story in my family. A lady was actually sent back home. You know what the man did? He came into the kitchen and saw the yam. You know, she had peeled yam and peeled almost the entire yam away. So he packed the chaff, the deads of the yam she had peeled, and put in a brown envelope and packaged it in a carton and told her, this is a gift for your parents, and put a letter inside and gave it to her. And he told her, go home, greet mama and papa for me. I will join you on Saturday, but take care of them before I come. And he gave her huge money. So when they got home, she gave the gift to her parents, and the man opened it and read the letter and saw the yam, and he was shocked. And that was the end of the marriage. Sent her back.
But in my own case, it was a really, really interesting one. The guy packaged that, told that they were going for holiday, you know, allowed her to carry a very big leather box. Put more clothes now, you know, and then took her all the way to those states, dropped her at home, and then entered the car and zoomed off. By the time the man was called, he said no, that he has given them 6 months to manage their daughter and give her proper home training. Good. So you see why it is in my family a story that once you're a girl and you start growing up, the first story you hear is the story of Auntie Lagbaja.
And then you learn how to
Today she's a very popular person, so I really cannot mention her name.
And you see,
I'm sure she's going to beat me for this.
Now I am excited. I'm excited right now that you can agree with me that if we eat 3 times a day, then food is important.
Very true. But let's talk about the solutions that we have there.
Number 1, I said politely take her to the kitchen. Number 2, teach her how to cook. If you know how to cook.
But what if you both do not?
If you don't know how to cook, get somebody. Get somebody. You can even enroll, now, like what I wrote here, point number 3, you can enroll her in a catering school. But now, this is it. Some women may not want to go to a catering school. But if you add an incentive, now listen to what I said. I said, if you promise to establish her when she finished the catering school, tell her, I'm going to establish you with like some millions, women get motivated. And that's why I want you to understand this.
That money is important.
Money makes women go around. When you tell a woman spin, they spin because money is involved. I I don't want them to come from my head, but I'm actually saying the truth here.
Don't worry, women. I got your back.
So,
I'm going to deal with him after.
So this is very important.
But it's important.
When
I
a
really
man takes care of his woman, and he showers her with the needful, gives her the gifts, give her the money, make promises. Women don't like men who say, God will do it. And go. Women like to fantasize. You know, women are they are moved by multitude of words. Tell them great things. Baby girl, we're going to fly first class to the US. I'm going to take you on vacation. We'll go to the Bahamas, even though you don't have a pajamas. And you're talking about Bahamas. You just have to promise her. You just need to let her know the beautiful things.
He's not married yet.
No. I am. I got experience.
See,
and told me, let me tell you
this young man is going to put some people in trouble. He's not taking you to the Bahamas. So.
No, you get your pajamas before you plan the Bahamas. And you see, it's important you do that. If you really love her, you need to teach her. And number 3 or number 4 right now, be very patient with her.
While she's learning,
be calm with her. If she has cooked, if you have complained about something, about, you see the way the mind of a woman works. When she cooks for you, and you complain that this food tastes bad, and you're eating the food and you say it tastes bad and you leave it. When she does the cooking the next time and serves you, she's scared. She's scared. So when she starts learning, be patient with her. You could just take a little and encourage her. You're getting better. You're getting better. Do it with her. Watch food channels with her.
Learn together.
Consciously or unconsciously.
Because I've not heard you say learn together.
No, I said that at the beginning. I said teach her. If you don't know how to get a trainer and learn together.
Better.
Now listen to me, Tomisi. I am not of the school of thought that says that cooking is the exclusive assignment of a woman. Anybody can cook. Are you getting what I'm saying? But it's important you understand this. A woman is in charge of the kitchen. Can I give you the reason I said that? God would have given the man breast and given him the responsibility to breastfeed the children. But because he knows the woman has the responsibility to feed, to nurture, he gave her the breast. So it means
so somebody
you own
sent
the kitchen.
you a message. Good morning, your guest is on track. My wife is a wonderful cook and I always relish her food. He's married to a Yoruba woman. His name is Emeka. Chukwemeka Nwosu. Mr. Chukwemeka, thanks for sending your message this morning. She's my sister, so I must say thank you, sis, for giving that man a shot of the Nigerian
we need
cuisine.
Response from people whose wives don't know how to cook. Let's understand what they are going through. Now, like I said, Tommy Singh, there are women who know how to cook out there. Some of them are very unique. Some of them are very dynamic. But there are some who are career driven and really don't know how to cook. And there are some others who are even not into career, but because of one thing or the other, I don't want to just attribute it to laziness alone because we're on national TV. Maybe one thing or the other.
That's why I say lack of interest.
Has deprived them of learning how to cook.
Or lack of interests.
And I'm saying
quite a number of people would prefer. I've met people at restaurants before who come to the restaurant not to eat but to buy soup.
True.
I've met people before who say, give me 5 portions of egusi soup. Give me 5 portions. I met a man one day. I had a ceremony on the island. And as usual, my style, if you're going all the way to Banana Island to go and do an event, or going all the way to Oshapa, London, or one of these big places, or VGC, to go do an event, and you know that you're going early in the morning, I always like to feed myself. So as I was going that day, I told my brother, let's park in, I think it was one of the eateries on the way, and have breakfast.
Okay.
Very early in the morning, I met this man. He bought ilasipo, the okra. He bought a bowl. He bought a bowl of egusi soup. He bought a bowl of vegetable soup. He bought a bowl of edikaiko. He bought a bowl of banga. I'm talking about soup, only soup, no meat. Soup. Everything. He bought. And you know, they calculate like almost 10 bowls. And then his wife came from the car and she was carrying to the car. And I was like, wow, what a couple. Maybe both of them are really so busy. It was a Saturday morning. I said, maybe both of them are really so busy that this is how they just live their lives and it's comfortable for them. Can you do that for a woman?
Let me be honest with you. For me, Tomisi, I'll teach her how to cook.
What if she's willing and she's not willing to learn?
She would learn, because, you see, approach is what averts reproach. The approach of the man matters a lot. That's why I said, point number 4, the man needs to be very calm. He needs to be patient. He needs to choose his words wisely. What I was explaining before you started talking, I said, if the man is calm enough and he understands the psychology of a woman, he would know that when a woman gives you food and you say it's bad, and she brings the food the next time, she's already scared. So the best you can do is try to take a little from the food. When the atmosphere in the house is so exciting and hyper, bring it to her knowledge. Sweetheart, we need to do more in cooking. Put the blame of the poor cooking on both of you. Share the blame. That's if you love the woman. You see, men who love their women are very patient with them, and that's why I advocate that men should love women they are attracted to. And this is very important. I don't want to flog on that before I get you in another mood. And finally, number 5, if you want to help a woman, you need to introduce her to new techniques. I just discovered that there are apps that train people on how to cook, step-by-step approach.
They even talk to you.
They talk to you, yes. Now, this is 2020, not those days where you need to glen firewood and then get kerosene and
But I still love the firewood. We were having a conversation here yesterday, and I prefer the jollof rice made on firewood to the one on gas.
So that's what you cook for me on Saturday, and we'll be telling you if you don't do.
When did I become your cook? Are you paying me?
So what?
Are you doing a party?
You know we know how to solve this problem, right?
But anyway, it's been a wonderful conversation this morning. And Dr. Precious, that last point you just made, just brings me to the fact that technology has made a lot of things really easy for people.
Sure.
Only if you are not willing to make these things work.
Sure.
If you're willing to make it work, then it surely can happen. Let me take 2 calls before we call it a wrap this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Samuel Ale.
Samuel Aleye, talk to me. What do you think?
Yeah. What of if both of them doesn't have the time? Especially the wife.
What if they both don't have the time to cook? The wife is very busy?
Of course.
Okay.
And leave home early in the morning, maybe 5 o'clock. Come back late.
Very late at night.
Then to get maybe out there.
That will be cooking for them. Obviously. All right. Hello, good morning. Last caller. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from, sir? Daniel. Your name is Daniel. Okay? Can you reduce the volume of your TV set? Okay. So, what if both of them are too busy? But Samuel Ale actually gave us a solution. He said, just get it made. Who is going to be doing the cooking for both of you?
Very possible.
Since both of you are very busy, he said he gave a scenario of leaving 5 a.m. in the morning and then coming back very late at night.
And the truth is this, not all men will cheat. Not all men.
But they are both busy.
But this is important.
Together?
This is important. Even if the maid cooks for your family, serve your husband's food.
That's another part to
just
it.
wisdom. Serve your husband's food.
Make sure you're the one that does the serving.
The person who serves the food over time may end up servicing the foodie.
Okay, you are looking for trouble, and I really will not join you. But because we're not talking about the dangers right now. Let's simply just take a break right now. That's been hard conversations. A lot of people would send their messages in. You remember we were talking about living with a woman who can cook, and of course, my extra to it is and is unwilling to learn. Literally, this person says literally. Okay, first of all, my name is Israel. For me, cooking is the first prerequisite to anyone I want to marry.
You see what I'm
talking
about?
Not just cooking, but cooking well. If you don't know how to cook well, I can't marry you because my children need to eat well.
Now hear what Jones
Literally,
has said.
food is
Okay.
important. I need to feed well before I come and eat the other food in the. All right, know how to cook. Enjoy.
In the other room.
Zara.
Now Jones is saying something. He says, every man likes good food. Don't be fooled when a man says he's not bothered about your cooking ability. Trust me, there's another woman cooking good meals for him. Or he
Outside.
has a fast food outlet or a mama put where he eats. Take note of that. It's not possible to live without food. It's impossible, Tommy said.
Okay.
Now listen to what Mrs. Ede said. Now I had to take Mrs. Ede's story because it encompasses all what we're talking about. People should understand this. She says her marriage ended because of some issues that includes inability to cook. Now this is what happened. My ex-husband and I loved each other and we were friends for 3 years before we finally got married. At first, he kept complaining about the bad taste of my meals. I kept assuring him that I would improve. I work from Mondays to Saturday. There was no time to enroll in a cooking school. I didn't even have enough time for myself. Are you with me? Now see what else she told me. She said, in a nutshell, my marriage was dissolved because we were both too busy to attend to each other's needs. It pains me till date, and I wish I did whatever I could to save my marriage. Whenever I have the opportunity to advise young ladies, I tell them to learn whatever they can do to keep their marriage. I am quite sure that my husband was tired of my cooking and with the fact that I was not always around. Now, this is the height of it for me. And she stated something that really got me a bit. I felt for her. She said, and do you know I still love my husband even though we are now divorced?
Oh, Adeyemi says a woman is not a slave but food to a man, and is not a slave for food to a man, and for any man to be comfortable with outdoor meals shows is being used to that from his own parents' house. All right, I'm Adegoke from Bijoko. I left a relationship because she can't cook, lazy and not willing, but my wife is a good cook. She can make soup of 500 naira and you will enjoy.
Beautiful. There are women like that, Tomisi. There are women like that. Now listen to this one. I will advise
She
every
added
man-
money to your 500 naira. There is no soup for 500
Tomisi,
naira.
leave us
Except it is
alone. There are
okra
women
soup.
who cook soups.
Except this is okra
You
soup.
can even cook much lesser than that. Fish 250, okra 50 naira, pepper
I said
50
okra
naira.
soup, except okra soup. Okra soup is the only soup you can
Tomisi,
make.
leave me.
Okay,
Now
you can make
listen to
vegetable
this.
sha.
I will advise.
If you are very small in your house, not
I will
more than
advise every man who is yet to marry to look beyond a woman's cooking skills. Now, this one is saying, don't just look out for a woman who knows how to cook. Yes, cooking is one of the prerequisites, but don't just. I need us to get that adjectives there so we understand where he's coming from. He's saying cooking is very important, but look at other things. Some women may know how to cook excellently, but have very bad temper. I'm not saying a woman should not know how to cook, but she should not be judged because she's not very good. Some women eventually become fantastic cooks after a short training. You see that? And similarly, there was a marriage counselor that said, that's Mr. John, he said, he believes that it's possible for a woman to become a fantastic cook in a short time if she's willing to learn.
All of this brings it home for me today because it's simply about willingness to learn. It doesn't matter where you are, what you are doing, what you are going through. The ultimate part is you can change the situation if you are willing to learn. It's not a calling show. A lot of people are trying to call us. You can only send your messages in, and I really do appreciate the research Dr. Precious did today. You practically did a voice pop for me, and I really love the fact that it was well-rounded. For people who have experienced it, who are experiencing it, and people who would want to make things better. It's morning. Dr. Precious, how do you close?
Okay, a woman needs patience and support from her significant other if she must become better at cooking.
At anything.
Yeah.
At anything.
Especially
At
with
anything.
the kitchen.
I bring it home this morning by just telling you that ultimately it's even more healthy for you to eat at home because COVID-19 is still very much here.
True.
And as a person, it would be important for you to be conversant, be familiar with what goes into your mouth. Your mouth is a window to your body. It means that when you put things here, it is likely to go here and cause so many problems for you if you don't watch what goes in here. That's why you don't eat anything. Only children get to eat anything and get away with it. I mean, they swallow stones, sand, poop of whatever, and they survive it. They're fine with it because they have that special protection. But trust me, when they get wise enough to understand what they're putting in their mouth, it's as if their body just goes the other way and begins to recognize dirt for dirt, and somehow all the protection that we're talking about lives. So it's important for you to make sure you take proper care of what goes into your mouth, into your stomach, because that's what makes you a healthy person. That's our program for this morning. Thanks for staying with us. We join you again Monday morning, bright and early on the Bumper Breakfast. And my name is Tomisi Ujo.
And I'm Precious Uwagbai. Please follow me on Instagram at Dr Precious Uwagbai and Twitter.
And of course, you can always reach out to us on the Bumper Breakfast to advertise your business from time to time. Don't forget the number to call is 080-6473-8133. We'll be back on Monday. Bye.
Consider subscribing to my channel. It's free and it's fun. You can join the squad and you won't miss out on any of my future uploads.